Day comfort and even more precise spraying technology. Just like you, we know every drop counts. See us today or visit Bain-Welker.com. Bain Welker, employee-owned, customer focused.
From HometownNewsNow.com, this is Update News on 96.7 The Eagle.
Time now to take a look at Pet Patrol here on 96.7 The Eagle. And today we have no lost or found pets to report to you, and that's a good thing. But if your pet runs off or you find somebody else's lost pet, call 219-362-6144 to report that lost or found pet for the next Pet Patrol. Pet Patrol airs throughout the day, Monday through Friday, as part of your Update 12 news, and it doesn't cost a penny. Call 219-362-6144 to report a lost or found pet for the next Pet Patrol here on 96.7 The Eagle.
Your number one source of news and information in LaPorte County is 96.7 The Eagle and HometownNewsNow.com. Welcome to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle, LaPorte County's original social media. Sound Off is a public interest forum that encourages your voice to be heard on the topics and issues impacting our local communities. For the next 30 minutes, we invite you to be part of the conversation by calling 219-362-0522. And you can now text your questions to the Liquor Vault on-air line or by email to soundoff@967theeagle.com. This is a topic-based program, and we ask that you keep your comments brief, concise, and related to the topic being discussed. The views expressed on Sound Off are those of the hosts or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media LLC, or the sponsors. The Liquor Vault on-air line is now open for your calls or texts at 219-362-0522. This is Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Welcome, friends. My name is Nate Laux, and you're listening to Sound Off only on 96.7 The Eagle. With me in the studio today is Mayor Thomas Dermody. We're going to be talking about the local income tax and all sorts of other things happening around the city of LaPorte. If you have a question for the mayor, you can call me at the Liquor Vault on-air line at 219-362-0522 or email me at soundoff@967theeagle.com. Both ways, I'll get it right into the studio. I'd be happy to ask the question if you just want to email me. But before that, I want to give you a heads up about upcoming shows. On Monday, County Commissioner Joe Haney will be on the show. And then on Friday, City Engineer Nick Minnick will join us. And so we're excited about those shows as well. Hopefully we'll talk about some road stuff that's happening here coming up this spring. As I know it's hard to think about here, but we are in the middle of February, and hopefully those asphalt trucks and plants will hopefully, knock the snow off and get going here in April or so. But today we got Mayor Tom Dermody with us. I'm glad to have you, Mayor. How are you?
It is great to be here. I'm actually controlling my own sound, if you notice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you control your TV controller at home? Because I've lost total control of that. I have to say, Jackie, turn it up. Jackie, turn it down. Do this. I have no control. I'm embarrassed to say no control of my TV at home.
See, no, my wife is an ICU nurse and works at night, so 3 nights a week I watch whatever I want. I miss her when she's not there, but I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten a lot of good TV watching. So.
I love that, Jackie. I don't know if you're working nights, but I need that controller back. But no, all is good. We have a lot going on. Great to see Nick Minnick on here. Hopefully he'll also mention, because there can never be enough road trucks in the city of LaPorte, but I do hope he also mentions the corridor. Great momentum for that. Now is the time to talk about it and look forward to that discussion.
All right, well, if you've got a question, you can call us at 219-362-0522. We'd be happy to take your call, or email us at soundoff@967theeagle.com. Let's get into this. So, local income tax. For our listeners, this is a tax that the state allows counties to approve. You may have heard it many times. Officials just call it the LIT tax, and it just stands for local income tax. And LaPorte County is talking about increasing theirs specifically for a police, fire, public service tax that would only go towards public service employees and public service things. I think it can just go to those line items. It doesn't just have to be used for those salaries, but just in that reign. There's some controversy obviously on this. People don't like taxes being raised, but where you stand on this, and you can inform our listeners, is You don't think there's another way to get the employees the wages that they need to stay here and to want to work here? And for you, anyway, you've been advocating for this increase in taxes. Is this correct?
Absolutely. And, we have had great public support for this. The county commissioners asked us to go to all of the town's communities for a vote for those councils. And right now it is, we've been to 10 of them for a vote. All 10 have unanimously supported. We were in Michigan City for a work session last night, and hopefully we'll be able to go back to the county council, and it looks like we could have as many as 5 votes on the county council in support of this. And you never know until they vote for it. But I saw great to see Mike Rosenbaum coming out publicly for it. And we have other individuals that have said they will support it, vote for it. And again, some that are opposed to it in an elected official situation. The more I hear, the more I understand they don't get it. I just don't think they get it. Short-sighted. This is more than just about salaries. This is a bigger picture. When you look at the overdoses, the police calls, the EMS calls, everything that is happening here, and I just saw yesterday in Elkhart, firefighters are saying, hey, you better be careful with marijuana that's being laced with fentanyl. It's a new day for public safety. And if the county has the money, then why haven't they been using it for all these scenarios? But it's much more than just salaries. It's an expansion of the police department. Right now, we need 52 or so officers. We're at 38. Michigan City's down 10. We're also growing population. We are going to be with the South Shore. We can look in the future and see what we need. But right now, the equipment, the cars, the technology, everything that's necessary. Again, Chief Breton shared we have over 200 high-risk warrants that we're basically sending our officers out there. We had a murderer from Atlanta hiding out in LaPorte a couple months ago, and we're basically sending those individuals out with bicycle helmets. And I know he gets upset when I say that, but we need to protect our residents. And how low do you go? What tragedy do you wait to happen before then you turn around and address it? Leadership is about making the tough decisions, but everywhere we've turned, our residents support public safety, and they expect their fire, police, and EMS to come when they call.
So, based on your description, we're living in Fallujah here. But so what do we do then to hopefully fix some of these issues? Obviously, we need well-trained and we need supported officers. We had the head of the police and fire union in here and talking about, I think your police union head there, the president of the police union, had said essentially almost half of your officers are within 2 years, and so
Correct.
The seniority isn't there, which means the experience isn't there. Great officers, but you don't know what you don't know, right? So what is some of the keys to taking down crime as well?
Being able to more than just react, because the calls for service are so high. But when you only have 4 officers sometime on a shift, Michigan City's down, EMS is getting all types of calls. All you're doing is reacting. We need to be proactive. We know where these individuals are. We want to be going out with proactive programs, ERT programs to address the high-risk warrants versus just reacting. And again, I'd be glad to sit down and we can ask each other questions publicly but the county commissioners don't have a vote. So it's easy to say, hey, don't do this, don't do that, because they don't have a vote. But I'd be glad to sit down and let's walk through their presentation. We've got some points we'd like to make because that's the only entity that hasn't been supportive. And let's remember, countywide, between county government, city government, schools, towns, we give back $32 million in property tax cap relief back to homeowners out of our budget. So the city of LaPorte gives 25% of our budget right off the bat back to homeowners in the form of that relief. Michigan City gives roughly 36% of their budget back to homeowners in the form of relief. So how can you be proactive? How can you have the necessary equipment, technology, people with the department when you're reducing your budget, yet you can't reduce the services necessary, roads, sidewalks? We're still expected at a high-end level to provide these services. And I've been in business all my life. When you can't cut expenses to equal cutting of the revenue, how long is it going to last?
So as a mayor, then, is it kind of, it has to be at least somewhat frustrating in that you just mentioned the tax cap, these kind of things, the savings that the citizens of Indiana have gotten tax-wise based on our state legislator, these kind of things. And they're talking about, maybe even more tax cuts. But that means that then the counties have to raise taxes. One entity of the government looks really good by cutting taxes. One entity of the government then will have to raise the taxes just to make up for the cuts that the other entity made. You've been on both sides of this. You've been a legislator that has cut taxes. You're now a mayor saying we need to raise taxes. How do you make sense of that then? Is that a good or a bad thing?
Well, and I supported the property tax caps. I still do to this day. 70% of Hoosiers supported it in the vote. But I believe these are investments. I don't look at them as tax increases. I look at investments. And what I've asked for is give us the control that we need. If the county doesn't want to do this because of the next election, or they're trying to say this, let us do it. We're going to do what's right for the city. And I've talked about any community or town that doesn't support the lit, let's find a way. Maybe we can add it to the legislative, some bill in the session this year and say, look, let's take them out of it. That community won't pay the tax and they won't receive the additional money. I'd love to see that happen. But right now, when you have 10 communities passing it unanimously, including the city of LaPorte, clearly most understand the importance of public safety for the future, and it's just not salaries. How this has come up with salaries, I'm not sure, but it's a wide range of needs for the departments. And again, if they've had the money, what's been happening for years while these struggles have been going on?
All right, well, we're going to take our first break, and then we're going to get to all the callers that are calling in. We've got just one of them, but if you'd like to call 219-362-0522, you can also email me at soundoff at 967theeagle.com. I'd be happy to ask your question for you. We've got Mayor Tom Dermody with us in the studio. Whatever questions you have, let us know, but keep listening to 96.7 The Eagle.
Ben Conowitz here, LaPorte Seamless Gutter, 219-362-9972. Fall is here, and that means leaves and debris for your gutter system. We've got 3 separate types of gutter guard for your home. Leaves and debris come in all shapes and sizes. We don't need a one-size-fits-all for your gutter. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 219-362-9972, or you can visit us on the web, www.lpseamless.com.
Vote Fagan 2022. Who is Sean Fagan? He's a lawyer. He's a Republican. Sean Fagan, running for LaPorte County Prosecutor 2022. Sean Fagan knows that LaPorte County is a great place to live, and he wants to keep it that way. Sean Fagan for LaPorte County Prosecutor 2022. Be safe. Be strong. Let's work together. Vote Sean Fagan 2022. This message paid for by Fagan for Prosecutor.
Save up to $200 on a set of 4 tires after rebate, Thursday through Monday only at Bell Tire's President's Day sale. We even have tires as low as $45 after rebate, February 17th through the 21st. Save up to $200 on a set of 4 tires, Thursday through Monday only. If you need new tires at the lowest tire price period, then save up to $200 on a set of 4 tires at Bell Tire. 100 years of getting folks safely back on the road fast and affordably. See store and belltire.com for details. Restrictions apply.
Michiana weather.
A winter weather advisory begins at 5 p.m. this evening and continues until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. High of 26 this afternoon. From the Weather Center at HometownNewsNow.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 17.
Thank you for tuning in to Sound Off. You can now text or email your questions directly to the studio. Call or text 362-0522 or email your questions to soundoff@967theeagle.com. This is Sound Off.
Welcome back, friends. My name is Nate Laux, and you're listening to Sound Off only on 96.7 The Eagle. With me in the studio today is City of LaPorte Mayor Tom Dermody, who didn't get me anything for Valentine's Day, but that's neither here nor there. We've got callers on the line. You're welcome to call us at 219-362-0522, and we would be happy to answer your questions, or at least give the mayor the question for you. So let's get to our first caller. Hey, thanks for listening to the show. I appreciate having you here. What's your question for the mayor?
Good afternoon. I have a couple questions regarding the tax. First
yes,
off,
sir.
I'm all for it. We need to support our emergency personnel. But first question is this the people that work in LaPorte County are going to be taxed? Or if I work outside of LaPorte County or Porter County or South Bend, St. Joe County, am I still going to be taxed? That's the first question.
Okay. Well,
second question is...
Yeah, go ahead and give your second question, then he'll answer them both when you're done. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, and the second question is with the what is the poverty level here in LaPorte County, and is that going to be a strain on those people that barely make $40,000 a year making ends meet?
Great.
That's all I have.
Thanks so much for calling.
Great question. So on the first, the tax, you would pay that tax whatever county you work in. So if you work in Porter, St. Joe, you're paying a local income tax currently, and it would just be raised there. And again, LaPorte has the sixth lowest in the state. The state average is 1.78%. And we're at 0.95. You see a lot of the progressive counties that are in that 1.78 area, while we're at 0.95. Number two, the poverty level, and we got into that last night in Michigan City. The highest poverty area in LaPorte County is not Michigan City, is not Kingsford Heights. Some people have suggested it is the 3 blocks, Harrison, Maple, and Jefferson, next to City Hall. And the Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte and Maria Fruth ran those numbers, and that is the highest impoverished area in LaPorte County, right next to City Hall. Number one, those that are on Social Security, SSI, will not pay into this. Number two, so let's use low income at, say, $20,000 a year. That will mean somebody making $20,000 a year of taxable income will be paying just over $8 a month additional. And when we've talked to, and our police and fire, as for example, have spent so much time at 701 Maple in my first 2 years and 20 years before that, and put themselves at risk, anybody that we've talked to in this area of Jefferson and Maple, they need their public safety, and they demand it. And they're saying, we still need this. So I would tell you, from the poverty area, those individuals want their public safety. And at $8.33, 27 cents a day, $8 a month, I don't think is too much to ask, because what is the cost of not having public safety respond when you need them?
So here's a question we received, I think going along some of those lines, is why is Indiana lowering corporate taxes for the wealthy, but LaPorte County wants to increase taxes on the low and the middle income? It seems like the state of Indiana always wants to punish those who aren't wealthy. I'm in favor of giving the police and fire all the money they need, but can we not have corporations pay some as well? Will corporations pay some in tax as well, or no?
Well, no, this will be individuals, because it is a local income tax. So they are individuals. And again, LaPorte would be, this is the tool that the state has given, and 71 of 92 counties are helping themselves and have passed a lit to secure their public safety for the future.
All right, let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for calling the show. We got Mayor Tom Dermody here. What's your question?
Good afternoon, Mayor. Thank you for coming on here and answer questions.
Steve Hollifield.
Hey, I'm on my way to Indy because, Got to talk to Representative Pressel and some other ones on Monday. I got a comment and then a couple quick questions. For an elected to decide that a single mother that's not getting any money from a deadbeat dad or something to decide how much they deem affordable, I think that's wrong. And as you and I and Chief Britton, we had a discussion, and Mr. Pressel and I will have a discussion too. We agree on some things, we don't agree on some things. It's a shame we can't have that kind of with our rapport with our county elected. My questions are, have you got a whole bunch of people applying for these jobs now? What's going to happen if no one does apply for these jobs? You're going to have to raise the salaries, because if there's just a very small group of people qualified for these jobs, don't you think the other counties, which have a much bigger economic base, are going to keep raising salaries to keep theirs too? Thank you.
That's a good question, Steve.
Great, Steve. Great question. And I'm going to tell you this. We're looking to the future. We believe we can compete. We've been so low in wages compared to other communities. But also remember this, and again, I know the county keeps talking because maybe they don't understand the real issue, have just been talking about salaries. But we're talking about technology. We're talking about equipment. These officers, when the first thing you do, when I first took over, you put them in a car which has more foam sticking out than leather in their automobile. They don't have the necessary equipment to keep them safe. As I mentioned, the helmets or flak jackets that are out of warranty. And then they have a chance to go somewhere else and, make $20,000, but also have backup, have the equipment necessary that will keep them safe. Why wouldn't you move around? So what we're saying is it's a complete package. We are going to be a standard for public safety. We are going to, our firefighters, we're looking because, again, to put on only 7 ambulances for Andrew McGuire to have to cover LaPorte County is unfair to them. We want to help with that service with our firefighters. They're making 2,500 medical calls a year right now. And we need to look at the future of public safety, not just sit back and say, how far can we kick the can down the road?
We've got Mayor Dermody in the studio today. The Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. You're welcome to email me as well at soundoff@967theeagle.com. Here's a question for you. Why should residents give you more tax money when in your time in office you have hired more non-public safety workers instead of putting those funds into public safety instead?
Well, let's talk about that. So we cut 25% off of our budget, became as efficient as possible, but where have we hired more people?
You're asking. I didn't ask the question.
Yeah, I don't know.
I only asked the question. I don't know.
So I'm not sure where, and I encourage anybody, come look at our budget. Let's walk through our budget together, come through our departments, but we also have to have enough people to plow snow, have people to do roads, sidewalks, because those are also the complaints we get. Why aren't we scraping the park department walkways? Why are the plows not getting here enough? Well, we're trying to be as efficient as possible. Technology, look at different technology of how to do roads to keep potholes from being formed. We're looking at every way, but please share with me where we're hiring more people versus before. But the requests, the expectations have also been raised. We're trying to treat it like a business and be as efficient as possible.
Here's a question. I'm a police officer. The state has so much money that they're sending money back to Hoosiers. Why not get some of that money to help pay our officers instead of raising taxes on hardworking LaPorte residents? Have you lobbied the state of Indiana for more money to come to local governments?
The state of Indiana, the legislators, and again, that's just kicking the can down the road. If they have $500 million or whatever their number is, they're going to give rebates to Hoosiers. That's in the Constitution. They're going to make sure that happens. And then number 2, any monies left, as you heard Representative Pressel talk about, is also a savings of, and I remember when I was on Ways and Means, 45 days of state spending. And so we're not asking Hoosiers to give up their savings. The state certainly isn't going to give up their savings. And again, when 71 of 92 counties have solved their own problem, why are they suddenly going to say, oh, LaPorte, you do this? We're very competitively taxed. We are a low-tax community, a low-tax state. I just don't see much of an issue here of saying we're going to solve our own problem. We're still going to be competitive with a low tax, but we want to do what's right for our town, our county, and that is a lit tax to secure the future of public safety.
All right, we're going to take our final break of the day. If you have a question for Mayor Dermody, you're welcome to call us. The Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522, or you can email me at soundoff@967theeagle.com. Hey, stay warm and be right. We'll be right back on this station, 96.7 The Eagle.
Car problems often strike at the absolute worst times, but you can rest well knowing that Cannon's Automotive Service is here for you and dedicated to get you back on the road with prompt, efficient, same-day service. The same Cannon's commitment that LaPorte has trusted for over 50 years. Cannon's Automotive Service, now with 2 locations, 710 Tyler Street and 909 Boyd Boulevard.
With Cannon's Automotive, we fix everything.
On Wednesday, July 13th, the LaPorte County Fair welcomes to the stage for one unforgettable night, Parker McCollum. Tickets are on sale now at lpfair.com. McCollum's tour for Gold Chain Cowboy has been full of sold-out shows around the country, and Wednesday, July 13th will be no exception. Tickets go on sale Friday, February 18th at lpfair.com.
When it comes to school delays and closings, you can always count on 96.7 The Eagle for fast, dependable, and accurate updates. Whether it's on the air, online, or social media, we keep you up to date whenever there is a closing or delay of the area schools. Closings and delays are brought to you by these fine sponsors:
Flanagan Tire, Harmon E-Pools, Melt Kitchen, LaPorte Community Federal Credit Union, Milmar Buildings, Frank L. Casey Funeral Home, Estlin Chapel, Swanson Center, Allstate Prendergast Agency, and Castle Ford of Michigan City.
For the latest in closings and delays, turn on your source for news, weather, and local information, 96.7 The Eagle.
Stuck in a job that sucks? Here's another job opportunity from HometownNewsNow.com.
Lewis Bakeries at 800 Boyd Boulevard in LaPorte is hiring with a starting wage of $19.05 an hour. Overtime after 8 hours is $28.57. You are paid weekly with holidays, personal time, vacation time, and did we mention the incredible benefits? Scheduled interviews through the week and open interviews every Friday, 8 a.m. until 2 p.m.
This has been a Jobs Spotlight Extra. Look under Hot Topics at HometownNewsNow.com for job details.
The next once-a-month radio auction is this Saturday, following your 8 a.m. news. Join Debbie and Dennis Siddell, your auctioneer radio hosts, with great certificates for you to bid on from Westville Farm Supply, Big Sheep Children's Boutique, Nowhere Bar and Grill, Happy Cars Detailing and Auto Repair, Fahrenheit Tanning, Archie's Restaurant, Melt Kitchen at the Vault, and Patrick's Grill, just to name a few. The next once-a-month radio auction is this Saturday, following your 8 a.m. news here on 96.7 The Eagle.
We're waiting to hear from you. Dial or text 362-0522 and let us know what you think. That's 362-0522. Back to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Welcome back, friends, to Sound Off, our final segment of the day. Glad to have you listening online and on the radio with us. We do have, and I'm sure you'll be hearing more, I do believe there's a new weather advisory out, so just be careful out there. I don't think we're supposed to get a ton more snow, but we will get some drifting tonight, so be careful. Thank a plow truck driver if you can, and just take care of yourself as well, and take care of your neighbors. So Mayor Dermody, we did get a response to your the question about adding other non-service people, and it says, yes, in your time in office you hired a sustainability director and a third code enforcement officer. So those are the people that you did add,
Well, but these are positions that were unfilled, and I could have left Nick Minnick, the city engineer, by himself. And when you compare all the other departments of other communities, engineering department, and Nick was basically by himself, you can't expect that, ask that, and that's a good way to lose one of the great minds we have at the city in the form of Nick Minnick. So that was a fulfilled position, and if we want to do what we need to do, you need more than one engineer in the entire department. And then code enforcement, fine, we'll remove code enforcement, one person at $30,000 a year or so, and that will make zero difference for the police department or fire department. And then code goes without. And code has been one of our priorities, and that cost versus what is happening in the community, I think more than pays for itself. But again, I invite you to come in. Let's look through and be glad to walk through any departments and compare them to getting the job done.
All right, let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show. Thanks for calling. What's your question for Mayor Dermody?
Yes, was that me?
That's
Yes,
you.
sir.
Yeah, thanks so much for calling.
Oh, yes, I have a question for the mayor. One of the questions that I have is I understand about this tax and everything else, and it sounds like we need to hire quite a few officers and firemen and so forth. Now, my understanding, it takes quite a bit of money to train these people, and once we get them trained, does that allow them to go to these other places like Chesterton and so forth? Do we have some kind of a code or a policy that once we have these people trained, that they are required to stay in LaPorte for a certain period of time, we'll say 4 years, because of the cost that we put into them as far as training? This is something that I think we need to look into. If we do not, I'm going to just hang up and let you go ahead. But this is something that we really need to look into. Thank you.
Thank you for that call. And again, we have looked into it because the training cost of $40,000 to $50,000 conservatively up front is a big cost for the city. But when you pay low wages, when you aren't as competitive as other communities, it's hard to keep them. So this is why we're doing this, to put a whole package together of equipment, of technology, of people, give them backup so they don't want to leave. But it's difficult, and we've talked to this with our city attorney legally to be able to secure this, and we haven't found a way to do it. But number two, you've talked to the officers. Who's going to sign up if they can go to Porter County, St. Joe County, not have to sign a guarantee that they'll stay here? It's difficult for them then to sign up for it when they don't have to in other communities.
All right, thanks so much for calling. Let's get to another caller here. We've got Mayor Tom Dermody in the studio. What's your question for Mayor Dermody?
Mr. Dermody, as a 25-year member of a volunteer fire service, I don't really know how to exactly ask this question, but how is this going to help an independently owned volunteer fire department? I want to give all of our county employees credit. They deserve a raise. They need a raise. But how is this going to help our volunteer fire departments?
Well, I think the volunteer fire departments that have contractual agreements with local communities, and I'll use, say, Wanata, La Crosse, for example, the funding that would go to each of those towns then can help secure necessary equipment or whatever that specific volunteer fire department may need that is short on funding, that they can then purchase, or whatever's agreed upon can certainly help them as well. And we've noticed, like, examples in La Crosse and Wanata are two examples where they have contractual agreements with volunteer firefighters.
So it will not go directly to township governments. This money won't, but it will go to the towns that then have contractual agreements. So it could potentially filter down into those volunteer fire departments.
Correct.
Okay, let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for calling. I appreciate you listening. What's your question for Mayor Dermody?
Nate, you were the best, buddy, with the best down there at the radio station. Hey, I got a question. Please help us out here, because this is very important. On our local emergency management, our Homeland Security, Larry Butcher, is this going to help fund him for the cow tipping on inner tubes along the Kankakee River when needed? It's very important. And also the second one is Nate, please find out when the water comes out of the water pitcher onto the hands, into the water bowl and the water towel. so we can offer an auction and bid Hail Caesar's washing of the hands equipment. Okay? Thanks, buddy. Bye-bye.
All right. I'll let Mayor Dermody comment on that one.
Put a 10 on that, Circus. I'm not sure how to even respond to that. So,
all right, real quick, we've just got a couple minutes left. I do want to say that the county did put together, the commissioners did in their commissioner meeting, put together a proposal that would, they say, not require the cities or counties to raise taxes and would provide the cities and counties money to pay for this, right? There's a whole plan that they had an advisor do. Senator Dalton did. And, you know, the thing that they said is this should work. And as more revenue comes in, as the population grows, there should be more tax money. If not, if it doesn't work, it'll get us by till 2029. And then we can do a lit tax then if it doesn't work. What's your response to that?
Well, number one, right now, public safety officers, fire, police, EMS have choices right now. They want some security, knowing that local government is going to take care of them, because right now they can go elsewhere. And to say, hey, we've got it in our budget, we'll figure this out, or we'll use federal funds in the short term, still, it's not sustainable. You have to look at the bigger picture. It's more than just about salaries. It's about the equipment. They need to know there's a plan for the future, not, okay, we'll use federal funds that then can't be used on roads, can't be used on certain developments in our communities to make our life better. And now we're going to pay for things that could be easily paid for through a local income tax. So I'm not sure. We've gone through the plan. We have a lot of questions and a lot of concerns about what they're presenting. But again, they don't have a vote. Our focus is the county council. It's easy to sit back and say these things when you know you don't have a vote. The county council are the group that where we believe, again, 4 or 5 votes in support. And fire and safety are watching, and they're focused on the county commissioners that haven't been supportive of them. And our residents are watching, and how many calls of support that we've received saying, look, we need to do this. Don't listen to them. Let's get it done. So if people have questions, 219-363-7293, or follow Tom Dermody, City of LaPorte Facebook page. But we encourage and want to hear your voice regarding this, and we appreciate all those that have supported us. Together, we can make LaPorte a safer place, and that includes we're taking our step back from and looking at it from a county perspective, not just the city.
All right, I want to thank Mayor Dermody for being on the show again this month, and I appreciate you all for listening. Monday is Joe Haney, Commissioner Joe Haney. Excited to have him back on the show, and then Nick Minnick will be here on Friday, and we've got a lot of great shows planning coming up here for the primary to hopefully introduce you to some of the candidates that you have, some of the races that actually have primary opponents in it. But keep on following us on HometownNewsNow.com. Follow us on Facebook, and keep listening to 96.7 The Eagle.
Thank you for joining us and voicing your